2, 1. Live from Las Vegas, Nevada, welcome to the virtual light broadcast at lightworker.com. Today is the 25th of May, 2013. Please welcome back Sandie Sedgebear.
Hello and welcome back to part 2 of a fascinating conversation with anthropology professor and discoverer of the Bosnian Pyramids, Dr. Sam Osmanagich. Now, before the break, you were telling us about the beam, the energy beam, and that it is not only going up, but it's also coming down. Is this transmitting information?
Yes, no doubt. People have been talking about the pyramids and the connection to the energy. In 1970s, when the Egyptologists wanted to find hidden passageways and chambers in the second biggest pyramid, Khafre pyramid, they invited Japanese geophysicists to help them with that. Of course, they never found mummy or secret passageways because mummy were not meant to be in the pyramids, but in the valley of the kings. What the Japanese concluded was that every 10 minutes, the energy field of the pyramid changes. They were shocked. They said it was not only the structure, but it was energy machine. Egyptologists threw them out of the country. They told them, we don't care about the energy, find us mummies. And after that, in Egypt or Mexico or China, you could never see geophysicists or physicists measuring energy phenomena. Unlike them, we've opened the door exactly for those sciences because we need to find out the purpose of pyramids. We were thinking about the pyramid. Pyramid does not generate energy from nothing. Pyramid acts as the amplifier. Last year, we have sent a lot of raw materials about those energy phenomena to Zagreb, Belgrade, and Vienna, 3 countries, Croatia, Serbia, and Austria, asking them to find us a source of the energy. Their conclusion was that 1.5 miles below the pyramid, in the ground, there was a huge iron plate. So what the pyramid builders did, they positioned the pyramid above this iron plate. Why iron plate? Because iron generates its own electromagnetic energy. What the pyramid does, it sucks this energy, amplifying it. The second thing, in the core of our planet is magma. Magma generates magnetic energy. The third, below the pyramids in Bosnia, a lot of underground water flows. If you have 2 parallel underground rivers, in between, in this space, electricity is generating. And then when underground water moves, it releases negative ions. So those 4 types of energies can be measured by our scientific instruments. And then our Russian colleagues, Professor Kavroshkin and Professor Tsiplakov from Moscow, measured the strength of the signal at the bottom of the pyramids in Egypt and Bosnia and at the top, concluding that on the top, the signal is 50 times stronger. So when you put everything together, the pyramid is the amplifier, amplifying natural sources of the energy. And it tells us that we can change our future for better. Instead of energy that we use today, dirty industries, coal, limited quantities of energy, oil and gas, then you see how we transport the energy through the transformers and cables, losing 20 to 50% of the energy. Instead of doing that, the ancients were much smarter. They were building the most powerful shape, the pyramid shape. And then they were positioning those pyramids above the natural sources, and they would get a huge quantities of energies. What was the purpose? That's what you asked me. When you have a lot of energy that you can emit to the universe, obviously it's possible that you can establish the energy bridge with any other planet, not only in our solar system, but in any star system in our galaxy. Once you establish that bridge, then you can start moving radio waves, information, frequencies. So you are getting very powerful communication device. Secondly, when we think about our bodies, Since Tesla, we know that everything in nature is the energy. Our planet, plants, trees, our bodies. The only difference is the frequencies. So if we are only the frequency, then you got a base for the teleportation. Number 3, during the first May parades in Moscow and China, if they are to have stormy weather, what they do, they send projectiles and they disperse those stormy clouds. The same thing can be done with the pyramids and those energy beams. So you can adjust the climate, you can do heating, you can do healing, you can run the wars. Only our imagination is the limit what to do with the energy.
You said that whoever constructed these pyramids understood that the energy sources were there. How do you think they knew the energy sources were there?
We are coming to the question, who were the builders? Obviously, they were more advanced. If they could see 1.5 miles below the ground, they had the ways, they had the means, they had maybe some technological means to do that. We cannot do that today. They were able to manipulate with millions of tons of materials. It's very hard for us to do it today. We cannot make a replica of Great Pyramid of Egypt today with our technology. So we obviously face the possibility that we had much more advanced civilization than what we have today in 21st century. And back to that energy beam, I did mention that the strength of signal is stronger and stronger, and that we can call that non-Hertzian phenomenon. In 21st century, we don't have technology based on this phenomenon. But the guy who was born only 200 miles to the west from the Bosnian Pyramids was experimenting in his lab in 1899 and 1900 with this type of technology. And his name was Nikola Tesla. He invented a transformer known today as Tesla's coil. So he was able to send wirelessly energy beams from one end of his lab to the other one, 55 feet away. And then he was able to light up the light bulbs, even if they were burned. And just before they're going to burn down his lab, he did the last experiment. He sent this energy beam to the ionosphere around our planet. That energy beam reflected. It was coming back much stronger to our planet, much stronger non-Hertzian phenomenon. And then he was able to light up 10,000 homes in Colorado Springs. So for the first time, one scientist of our civilization cycle proved that clean energy was possible, that unlimited quantities of energies were possible, that non-Hertzian phenomenon was possible, that wireless transportation of energy was possible, and finally, that free energy was possible. Did American corporations accept this discovery? Of course not. How would JP Morgan sell free energy? It was much more profitable for them to build hydro and thermal power plants, and more recently nuclear power plants, spend a lot of money, make those transformers and cables and lose 20 to 50% of the energy along the way so they can sell it to us, common people, for a lot of money. And that's the profitable economy. But the day will come when we will all enjoy the free energy. And that will be the first pillar of the free society. The second one is the free flow of knowledge. The knowledge belongs to all of us, not only to elite. So based on those two pillars, we will have society of free women and men. Amen.
Amen. Now, I know that you've got 2 wonderful audio files for us to listen to. Tell us about those.
We want to use all available scientific instrumentation to prove, our claims. So, for example, on one of the files that we have here, it shows electromagnetic fields, and this is done by special so-called PIP camera developed by Dr. Harry Alfred from UK. We should be able to see the Sun Pyramid. Above we can see vertical bioenergy fields, and inside the pyramid we can see the red color close to the top. The red is getting bigger and bigger, so the energy is accumulating. At one point the energy got released. And usually in nature, those fields above the natural hills, they are horizontal.
Yes.
Here they are vertical, meaning that the energy is hitting those horizontal fields, making them vertical. And we've done filming for 2 years. They are always vertical, meaning that the energy is coming through the pyramids at all times. It was done in 2007 when we got the red flag, hey, this is more than the construction. So finally, last couple of years, we've done a very intensive recording of the phenomena on the top of the Sun Pyramid. On the top of the Sun Pyramid, in the radius of 30 feet, we have recorded the ultrasound of 28 kilohertz, which I just mentioned. So for the first time in the pyramid science, which has not been established yet, we can show people how the pyramid speaks. So let's hear this recording. This was ultrasound. From 28 kilohertz, we moved it to 8 kilohertz, to something that we can hear. This is the sound coming to the top of the Sun Pyramid. This is the fax messages the ancient Bosnians are sending somewhere. As you can see, Bosnia...
Sound. Speech. Someone's talking.
As you can see, the Bosnia is the land of miracles. Our pyramids even speak. Now, this is that sound that can allow the table tennis balls to levitate. But then, with another team of specialists, this time from Belgrade, Serbia, electrical engineer Goran Samoukovic, he was measuring with his instrumentation all other frequencies, and basically there were only two. This one, 28 kilohertz, and the other one, 7.83 hertz. In science, it's known as the Schumann resonance. Long time ago, without the people, without our technology, that was the only frequency on the planet, 7.83 hertz. Everything was in harmony. All the living world, plants and animals and humans, and our mother planet. At that time, the Schumann resonance was very strong and rich. However, with us in 19th, 20th, 21st century, with the technology, with the 50, 60 hertz, with the very bad frequencies, we can see that our planet is getting weaker and weaker. This 7.83 is becoming 12 or even 20 hertz. So we don't have these beneficial frequencies. Well, guess what? On the top of the Sun and the Moon pyramids, in the underground tunnels, thanks to this, I would say, technologies, those ceramic blocks, this frequency is still very powerful and very rich. So what we did, we were checking the pyramids, the plateau, the terraces, the top, and we noticed that on some places there are no frequencies at all, like something is getting all this energy inside. But on some others, the energy was bursting out. Very powerful, like the pyramid complex is breathing in and out, in and out. And let's see one of those places when it's coming out. Let's hear the last file, the Schumann resonance. different sounds, like the orchestra.
Yeah.
A lot of people in this field, archaeologists, geologists, historians from Egypt, Mexico, Peru, US, they attack us because they don't understand. And when they don't understand, then they become aggressive. However, 20 or maybe 50 years from now, they will be following our path. Because in order to explain the pyramid complexes, but also some other ancient monuments, you need to be interdisciplinary oriented. You need to have so many sciences, but not only from the physical realm, but also from energy and spiritual. And that's the only way to understand those structures.
Now, you said earlier that the beam can be a communication device. If we don't have access to the technology that enabled the original builders to site these in the right places, can we not use this communication ability to find out?
I don't think that what we have today is the original machine. We can see that some parts are missing. For example, the top of the Sun Pyramid in Bosnia is flat. It does not have this ending, the pyramidion, also in the shape of the pyramid. And we know that the pyramidions, in the case of all original pyramids, meaning oldest and biggest in China, Egypt, Mexico, Bosnia, are missing. They had been intentionally removed. When you have, for example, a Swiss watch, when all the parts are there, they show proper time. You remove a couple of parts, the wheels will still be turning, but they will not be showing the proper time. The same analogy with the pyramids. Without a pyramidion on the top, we are not able to focus those energy beams, electromagnetic, ultrasound, and other beams, meaning you cannot use it as during the original times. Also, the Sun Pyramid in Bosnia has been damaged. 3 sides are still perfectly preserved, but the 4th one, the south, is not anymore. It's been damaged probably due to a very strong earthquake in the past. So it does not work properly like during the original times, but it still does work, and we can learn from it. The Sun Pyramid in Bosnia is not the only one which has been active. Kukulkan Pyramid in Chichen Itza in Mexico also is active pyramid. Of course, the Great Pyramid of Egypt, the Giza pyramids, they've been active. The Chinese pyramids, even though the Chinese government does not give permission to their archaeologists to investigate the biggest pyramids. But I think we are coming to the era when people will realize that we can deal with the technology that we can learn so much from, and that our society can benefit. And I would say the pyramid technology should enable us to go in the right direction.
Now, you consulted a number of psychics who had access to the Akashic records, and you set up a scientific protocol for asking them various questions. Tell us a little bit about that and whether that method of communication could be utilized further to find out more.
When I think about our society today, obviously, mainstream science think that they are the only ones who can explain everything, and they are wrong. On the other hand, the spiritual science, which is not science yet, is giving their own answers. The future of humanity is to combine the two. The mainstream scientists, when they come to the wall, they don't know what to do, but they could get hints from spiritual science. And as far as spiritual science, what it lacks is you need to verify their information. When you have channels, they are telling you, okay, this is the story, so you take it or leave it. But if you can find a way to verify their information, then it will be much easier, to move forward. So if we combine the two, the way to do it when it comes to spiritual science is, like you said, to apply the scientific methodology. A couple of years back, I did an experiment with 6 Akashic record readers. Now, the idea about the existence of a library in spiritual realm is rather old. People claim that they can tap into that vast area of knowledge. The problem is, when they give you the information, how you can verify it. So what I did, I had 6 Akashic record readers in Houston. I was filming them at the different times. I wouldn't tell them what I was going to ask them. I wouldn't tell them about myself. And what I did, I showed them 30 different archaeological sites in the world. Machu Picchu in Peru, pyramids in China, Bosnia, Egypt, Mexico, Mauritius, Göbekli Tepe in Eastern Turkey, different locations. So I would ask them the same question, show them the photo, and ask them who, when, how, and why. And in my book, you have me asking them, and then 6 answers. Now, people would expect, if those readers are going to the same library, getting the same book, they will get the same information. It did not happen. However, what did happen is, when you looked at them in much wider context, you were getting information that would give you the big picture. But still, we were able to see that the age, when it comes to the age of the monuments, they're so much different. For example, Machu Picchu in Peru, one Akashic record reader said 800 years, another one 2,000, the third one 5,000, the fourth one 55,000, the sixth one 500,000. But then again, we cannot just reject it because they were giving us the different answers. What we can conclude is that some of the energy potent places on the planet, like Machu Picchu in Peru, or like Tibet, or like Teotihuacan, or Giza Plateau, they would have so many cultural layers, so many civilizations. So I think that's just a way to show people how to, look at the Akashic records.
Do you think, there are so many pyramids around the world, why do you think they're everywhere? Do you think there was some kind of connection between them all, or just different races, different, beings building them for different purposes?
The way I classify them is original pyramids that are the biggest, the oldest, and they do have energy properties, and replicas made by certain emperors or generals. They were much smaller from the inferior material. So if you look at the biggest one and the original ones, I think there was a connection. And it's not a coincidence if you have the same design in Guatemala and Cambodia, in Asia, if you have pyramidal temples that are exactly the same. So obviously there was a communication, either several developed civilizations on this planet, or one super civilization, or the knowledge that has been brought to our planet. As a scientist, I have to have scientific proofs about their origin.
Okay, but if you were to speculate?
Since the oldest pyramids are the more superior, the knowledge came from somewhere. If it was a man, Homo sapiens sapiens, it's obvious that during the previous cycluses they were much more advanced mentally and spiritually than us. And really, when we think about our technology, what we are doing, we are using the most primitive technology. If we want to move the block, we use cranes. We fight gravitational force. There are much easier way to do that. The way to neutralize gravitational force is the frequency or power of our mind. Humans can do that. We've just forgotten those things. Or maybe somebody taught us those things.
And it could have been other races coming from other places that build these, that had the technology that we perhaps didn't.
To think that we are the only one in the universe does not make much sense. Our problem is that after the last global catastrophe, the end of the last ice age, when more than 99% of the people were wiped off the planet, Those who survived when they came from the underground tunnels and the caves on the top of the mountains, with their civilization being gone, had to start from the beginning. And that's how the Neolithic times started, like the scientists call them. And then that's our cycle. And then we think that we are the first one, the only one. And today in 21st century, we think that we are most developed, most intelligent, and most beautiful. Well, we are not. One day when we are gone, the next civilization, the next 1% that survived, they will think that they are first one and the most developed one. So when it comes on the much wider plane, the universe, of course there is so many different life forms in different dimensions in our universe and in the universe of universes. That's how many they are.
Yeah. Well, we're almost out of time now, but can you tell our viewers and the people in our studio audience, how can we come to Bosnia and experience it for ourselves?
It's very easy. Bosnia is a beautiful country, especially during the summer. Our website, which is www.bosnianpyramidofthesun.com. You know, people can come, they can apply as volunteers, they come for 2 weeks, they get together with the people from so many different countries, or they can come as tourists, or they can come as researchers, you know, mainstream scientists, conservative scientists, alternative scientists, spiritual scientists. Everybody's welcome.
At any time?
At any time. The tunnels are open 12 months a year, and the locations above the ground, the sun, the moon, dragon, earth, love, only during the summer months. June, July, August, September.
And can we go into the...
Always.
Always.
It belongs to all of us. Everyone should benefit.
Sign me up.
I will.
Dr. Sam, you're quite right. We could talk for 7 hours about this, but unfortunately we're out of time. Thank you for joining us today. And anyone can read about this in Dr. Sam's book, Pyramids Around the World, and also your book about the Akashic Records. Thank you.
Thank you.